Hello, everyone. My name is Tony Faiola, and this is my value proposition canvas assignment number 1. Before we actually get into the profile, I'd like to talk a little bit about the customers. These are family members of a critical care patient, often isolated for a period of time. They can be oftentimes an ICU patient in pulmonary ICU, cardiac, or other areas in isolation. They also can be in more seriously cancer patients in some cases. I'm dealing with this right now, actually, in my research. These are cancer patients under chemotherapy for 3 or 4 days or radiation therapy. They can be bone marrow transplant cancer patients as well. It can be also patients who are in a hospice environment or any kind of critical care space facility where they're isolated from their family members for a period of time. It also, it's important for me to note the empirical data that supports the problem. There's 15 plus years of research and studies have gone on to validate clearly that this problem space really exists. And there's a lot of family members who have suffered a lot over the years. We see this even in the last 2 years. I don't think most people were not aware of this problem before COVID. COVID made it very clear there was a problem, but this has been going on in lesser degree in the last 10 to 15 years, actually for a long time. So I'm addressing this problem with my research, with this particular proposal. So let's talk about the customer profile. For sure, the jobs would be communicate with a bedside nurse in a regular way, access and receive real-time patient updates of what's going on there with the patient, access and communicate with social and mental health services. The pains we're trying to avoid for sure would be little or no feedback from the bedside that includes timely updates. We also want to avoid increasing mental trauma of the family members. This includes stress, anxiety, depression, PTSD overall, due specifically to patient critical care. I mean, the health of the critical care health of the patient, and not knowing really what's going on in real time with the patient. And lastly, the limited or unclear access to mental health services for these family members. The gains for sure are improved mental health. The convenience of an app provides that kind of remote mobility, allowing anytime and remote updates. Personal knowledge of the bedside nurses, in other words, through this kind of communication, especially the FaceTime tools, the family members can get to know who are those persons caring for their loved ones at the bedside or whatever healthcare facility they're in. Also, the gains are they're able to participate more regularly in decision-making because of the interaction and availability of the healthcare practitioners. We also see in research that family members experience a lot of suffering and problems due to this event. Because the patient was the focal point, it created a lot of disruptions and problems. Again, when families don't know what's going on with their loved one, there's a lot of speculation, irritation, emotions are high, and it creates a lot of problems. Again, our hope is that an indirect gain would be a calmer family environment among those that are focused on this loved one in critical care. And hopefully it would be a free service as well. Let's go on to the product specifically. It for sure would be FamCare Plus. This is a communication platform that would provide family members remote access, connection with clinicians at the bedside. It would provide real-time qualitative vitals, wellness updates, texting and FaceTime tools, and also a tool that allows them direct communication with the social and mental health services. The pain relievers in response to the pain gains. Pains would be reduced mental health impairments and fear of the unknown regarding their loved one who currently is in that critical care environment. 24/7 real-time access to health updates, clinicians, and mental health services, and also easy and free access with the mobile app. Lastly, we see the gains or the gain creators. FamCare would empower families with the tools to understand and respond to what is really happening at the bedside in real time. In other words, they don't have to come in. They can actually interact through the tool with the clinicians at the bedside. And even if they don't communicate through texting or FaceTime, for sure, the information that's coming across the screen can provide that kind of information. And lastly, FamCare positively can support the mental health of families throughout the critical care event and beyond. As noted earlier, studies have shown that PTSD was well recorded well months after the patient returned home. Again, because of this traumatic experience, family members were traumatized, and it took some time for them to get over it. So again, we do see a number of fits between the product and the particular job items listed. We also see a clear fit between the pain relievers and the pains produced as a result of this particular problem. And also we see the gains of the creators for sure in response to the gains of the identified under the customer profile. Again, I want to identify this matter of the empowering of the families overall with this tool, giving them access on any information they need that would have a direct impact on their mental health. And lastly, I list here a little more detail what are some of the services. And that's it. Thank you so much.